In this segment, I'd like to talk about sandpaper quickly. Sandpaper comes in a variety of grits, and those grits are represented by numbers. So the smaller the number, the rougher the sandpaper. So you'll probably run across stuff from 60 to 80, 120, all the way up to 400. Those are the main ones. I use 100 and 150 almost exclusively. I usually use the 100 to knock down any rough edges, and then I'll putty. I spend a lot of time puttying things to make them look better instead of trying to sand it all the way down. You decide the path that you want to take. And then I'll use 150 or 180 to sand my putty down smooth. It comes in different varieties, of course. This is just the general use. I'm not a big fan of this because it has a tendency to fill up faster and the paper just doesn't last as long. So I'll usually move up to something like this. This is what they call a self-cleaning sandpaper. So technically when you're using it, the debris will fall out of the sandpaper more than it will with the general use. I like this because it just lasts longer. It works really well. You can also, this is a package where you can buy 3 of them. You can also buy them in larger packets like this, where you can, this has 20 of them. I like to use sanding sponges a lot. These are not usually represented by grits. You will sometimes run across them by grits, but the majority of them are just fine, medium, and coarse, and you just pick the one that's apropos to what you need to use it for. I'm a big fan of these. This one's actually medium and fine. It has 2 sides that are medium, and then the other 2 sides are fine. So these are just great and inexpensive. They're really great to use. These are nicer. They're easier to hold on to. They last a long time. When you're using one of these and it starts to clog up a little, just smack it on a hard surface. That'll help remove the debris. And you could also use sanding pads. These are great for getting around things like balusters, so they wrap around really well, balusters to your stairs. You can use that to sand those up and down. These are really great for stuff like that. So you could also use an orbital sander. I usually don't use these inside of a house because it's usually just too much. If I'm doing a little bit of scraping or sanding and I have a void, I won't sand it down smooth. I will usually fill it with putty. You can easily use this though, and of course it comes in a variety of grits. You just decide if you're really knocking down some stuff, you want something rough like a 50 or an 80, and then just keep moving your way up, say to 120, and then finish up with like a 180.